Well, James Bond and Aston Martin fit together like a Walter PPK in a holster, and I can't think of a better place than here in the Scottish Highlands to test a silver Aston Martin. Let's just hope it doesn't end the same way. Now, the fortunes of Aston Martin are also inextricably linked to the success of the famous film franchise. Like Bond himself, Aston was suave, chic, and at the cutting edge in the 1960s. But then its cars became a bit cheesy through the 70s, a bit too try-hard in the 1980s, and both almost sold out through the 1990s. Now, they have been successfully rebooted over the last decade and rekindled the style that made their predecessors icons of the era. Obviously, this isn't a classic Aston Martin DB5 like James Bond's, but it is the new flagship of the company, the Vanquish. And it's just been updated for model year 15. The most significant change is in the back. An 8-speed automatic gearbox is now fitted that not only makes it more refined around town, more efficient on the highway, but faster in a straight line. With Aston claiming it drops the 0 to 100 time down by half a second to just 3.6, putting it into genuine supercar territory. The 6-litre V12 in its nose has also been tweaked, thanks to the addition of smarter computers that extracts a few more horsepower and 10 Newton meters more torque. The 6-litre V12 now produces 424 kilowatts and 630 Newton meters, and has a claimed average fuel consumption of 12.9 litres per 100 k's. Now, Aston's also tweaked the dynamics of the Vanquish as well to make it a little bit more hardcore. The suspension has been changed in terms of its geometry, both front and rear, and there's a thicker anti-roll bar and a stronger subframe at the back. The Bilstein adaptive dampers have also been retuned, and the spring rates have been stiffened up as well by 15% at the front and 35% at the back. There's also new tyres and new design alloy wheels. Now, those wheels are the only thing that give you any visual difference that this is the updated Vanquish. And let's be honest, it really didn't need any tweaks in terms of its styling, because this is undoubtedly one of the most beautiful cars on the road today. Not only do those alloys give the car a little bit of a new look, they're also 7 kilos lighter across the whole set, improving the dynamics again ever so slightly. But it is the gearbox that makes the biggest changes. It is really refined and quite smooth just to tootle around town, and then when you want to give it some, simply flick the paddles down, listen to that V12 howl, and just unleash a completely different car. It's a great tourer, but also when the road gets twisty, this thing is just epic. As for the ride, well, the Vanquish is a brilliant GT car. The ride is a little stiff, and it tramlines on some of the bumps on roads because of the big tyres, but this thing literally belies its size in terms of grip. It is just phenomenal. The front end has beautiful poise and point, and there's great traction at the rear, even with that 6-litre V12 pumping out all of that power. There is, of course, a fair bit of road noise on coarse chip surfaces, which ruins a little bit of the ambience of the car. But no matter what you do, sitting in a Vanquish is a pretty special experience. The seats are also beautiful, the driving position's great, and being a 2+2 coupe, it obviously has some compromises. There's not a hell of a lot of rear vision out the back, and those back seats are pretty much useless. But this isn't meant to be a family car, obviously, and for those lucky enough with 500 odd grand to spend, it is a pretty special car. And for those that want to live out their James Bond fantasies, there's nothing better than a silver Aston Martin. The updated Vanquish will be available in both coupe and volante, or Aston speak for convertible, and arrives in Australian showrooms later this year, priced from $479,995 and $517,000 respectively. Now, days like this don't come along too often, and nor do cars like the Aston Martin Vanquish. Now, the small changes the company has made to this car have drastically improved its refinement, performance, and its sporting character. One thing that's obvious, particularly if you're a spy, is you can't remain undercover in something as beautiful as this.